The Bulls are 5-0 in a season. I don't think anyone here who's watching this video would say that in the beginning of the preseason. But yet here we are, and Josh Giddey just had his career high. So are the Bulls for real?
Get the lowdown on one of the most iconic basketball teams in the world. You're listening to Chicago Bulls Nation.
What is going on, Bulls Nation? So anyone who watched the game last night is excited and also kind of scared at the same time, because we all had this fear. Being a Bulls fan, we've been abused for so many years that, hey, we're in a 4-game winning streak, but in your mind it was like there's still doubts, kind of like the doubts that we had with Josh Giddey. When we were about to sign him for a big contract, we were like, all right, we're 19 games in. He played really good at 19 games, but can he sustain it? Kind of like with the Bulls now. They played really good in the first 4 games, but now the true tests are coming. And I said that on my previous video, where the next 5-6 games would kind of tell us where the Bulls really stand. Not that this is not already an improvement. I think being 4-0, regardless of who your opponents are, which in mind, the opponents that the Bulls beat within that 4-0 stretch are not joke. It's not like we played Charlotte and Washington. Not that. Now the 4 teams that we beat are caliber teams. Yet, I can't blame anyone who's a little bit kind of like reserved, being that this is the Bulls. But beating the Knicks the way they beat the Knicks last night, I think it's a reason to be excited, if not the 4-0 already. I'm fully on board within this Bulls team. I think they are now a legit good team. Like, being 5-0 is already tough. There's only like 3 teams that is 5-0, but the teams the Bulls beat and the manner they beat them, like the Knicks were making a run. And deep inside, being a Bulls fan, you're like, all right, here comes the third quarter woes, because they were leading by 18, I believe, in the half. And here comes the Knicks doing their 2 big lineups. And that gave the Bulls some problems. But the resiliency of this Bulls team, because they are young, but they have experience. Are we finally seeing what Arturos was envisioning when he was forming this team? Because everyone, including myself, had some doubts with their strategy, because this offseason they did not sign anyone but Trey Jones. Now, we've seen pretty good games from Trey Jones last year, but we were just like, all right, this is the exact same thing. Are we just banking on Matas' development and Josh? And maybe we are, because here we are in the brink of Josh Giddey finally getting his career high of 32 points. And to some people outside of Chicago, there might be like 32 points. Zach LaVine just dropped 30. And what's the big deal? Well, the big deal is Josh Giddey is not a scorer. He's mostly a facilitator, and very good at that. So scoring 32 points in an almost triple-double is, because you're not going to see that from Zach LaVine, a triple-double, 32 points. Maybe he did, but not, this could be a consistent basis for Josh. And even if it isn't, his impact last night was phenomenal. When the Knicks were making a run in the third quarter and he was on the bench, the moment he gets put on the bench, he is on attack mode. He is putting pressure on the Knicks defense, because he is a big matchup to most point guards, especially to Jalen Brunson. So sure, he's not the Zach LaVine type of athlete that he is, but he's very smart. He's a smart basketball player. He uses his size and rebounding. I can't tell you how much he's helping this particular Bulls team, because we are lacking in size in the front court and toughness. But Josh Giddey makes up for that with his rebounding, because he's a very good rebound. And those are not, a rebound that went to my lap, kind of like, and that was my critique with Josh Giddey in the past. He's like a Carlos Boozer rebounder, meaning Carlos Boozer, if you watched him in the past, the rebound would just drop in his hand. It's mostly Joakim Noah who's doing the hustle and the effort. But last night, 3 key defensive rebounds against the bigs. So Josh Giddey is getting in there, getting his hands dirty, doing the hard work to get a much needed rebound when the Knicks were making a run. So everyone's clicking right now within this Bulls team. Not just Josh Giddey, but most props to him. I think we can all agree this Bulls team was being led in this streak with Matas, Josh, and Vooch. But the most impressive thing about this entire winning streak is how fun they are to watch, because we can't pinpoint it as good as Josh is playing. You can say the same thing about Ayo. Ayo has been phenomenal off the bench, good defensively, and also Kevin Huerter and Trey Jones were throw-ins, were salary cap filler for the Zach LaVine trade. And they're a key piece in this Bulls streak right now. Like the way Kevin Huerter, the Red Velvet, is playing with his shooting, but most notably, forget about the shooting, the way he cuts to the basket and the way he defends and hustle, man, I wouldn't be upset if the Bulls re-sign him, even with an increase with his current salary. Kevin Huerter has been a good player. That's why he was the key cog going to Sacramento with that trade. In the first year in the Sacramento, he was phenomenal, and then he kind of got a drop off. But right now in his contract year, but he's always been a good shooter, and shooter in this day and age of the NBA always have a value. And as far as Ayo, man, Ayo has been playing phenomenal. I've been on the record, if we can only choose between Ayo and Kobe, and this is a no disrespect to Kobe, I choose Ayo because of his two-way play and also for the fact that he's from Chicago. So, and I love Kobe White's game, and I can't wait for him to come back, because there are stretches where the Bulls is having a hard time to score. So I think Kobe is going to help this team tremendously when he comes back. But also, hey, Patrick Williams made that move. I got to give props to him too. And Jalen Smith, they've been playing phenomenal. And how many times did we say that, for Patrick Williams last year? Probably nothing. But everyone's clicking, and kudos to Billy Donovan. I know he was getting a lot of heat last year, and rightfully so, we know with his style of play, but I think he finally has the players who's willing to buy in, and he finally integrated his system. So now his vision is working. So kudos to him. I'm going to give props to everyone here. This 5-game stretch might not last, this winning streak, but boy, it's been fun to watch. And I can't blame any Bulls fan to be excited. I'm looking forward to this. But thank you for watching. Hopefully you like this video. Give it a thumbs up. And if you're a Bulls fan, consider subscribing. I'll see you guys in the next video.